Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Foreign Takes. Who's here with me, boys?
Hey there, it's Big Lev on the line here.
Choo choo. Sounding depressed after not watching Liverpool.
And
Depressed after watching that fucking City game.
Ah, don't get me
yeah,
started. Who else is here?
KG's here, also depressed because of the City game and the United result. As usual, coming in hot.
City, if they do one thing, it's they unite every other fan base in
Oh yeah, for
boring us
sure.
to death, honestly.
Yeah.
Not too many games to talk about, but let's get cracking. I think the first game we should quickly touch on was Luton Burnley, which was a bottom battle of the bottoms, as was they said on Sky. I think the only thing we really talk about is okay, the Carlton Morris 90-minute equalizer. I need your take. So, Big Lev, was it a foul? Or was it not a foul?
I haven't seen the replay part. So here's the thing: I don't think it was as big of a foul as people make it out to be, because the goalkeeper was out of the 6 yard box. So out of 6 yard box, you don't get as much kind of protection as a goalkeeper. It was within your 6 yard box, right? And then he kind of slammed into this guy. So I felt it was more like a goalkeeper mistake than a foul.
Oh, interesting. KG, would you have called that a foul?
I would call it a foul, especially since it went to VAR. It's just I can see what Big Love is saying because I believe the goalkeeper did the most out of the situation, but still, it was a foul. I believe it shouldn't have been called off, and it went to VAR for a reason. And the PGMOL and the Premier League decided this is the time to show their referees have some balls, let them keep their decision on field. And yeah, I mean, Burnley again and
Hard
Luton
on.
stuck at the bottom. Yeah, stuck at the bottom. Let's see what's going to happen with them. It was a perfect opportunity for Burnley to overtake Luton. They didn't do it. I don't think they can do much after that, anyways.
Yeah. It's just one of those things like we just want consistency, right? We talk about it every week. It's like if it's a foul, fine. Just call it a foul every single game. If it's not, that's fine. Just keep consistent. It's the
Oh,
flip flopping that drives us crazy, honestly.
there's going to be no consistency.
I
Yeah.
know, it's ridiculous. I mean, company though, he's bought himself I think another week. I just don't think they're gonna fire him, regardless of the results. I think they're
I
gonna
haven't
stick
seen
with him.
any rumors or any discussion on company,
Yeah, if you
whatever
fired
it is.
him, you should have fired him already, because now you're
Yeah.
kind of at the middle of the January transfer window. You're obviously not getting a new coach who's gonna try to put his own stamp on the team. So it's kind
Just
of
stick with
late.
him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Do you think they have a chance to get saved?
no.
No, I think Luton have a higher chance of getting saved. I just the way they've been playing, they feel like they've adapted to the Premier League, and they're not trying to this play out of the back with a weaker team.
The more I look to it, the more I see that there's not going to be no team that they're going to be they could drag into this conversation because everything's going to go. They're going to finish higher if they don't get another point deduction. They're just not going
Yeah,
to be in there. And Forest also got the bump of a new manager, so there's no one there. Maybe Crystal Palace if Roy Hodgson just freezes to death on a
I,
cold night.
I that man is going to be around for 20 years. No, honestly, I think the I would have agreed with you. I think it's just an injury thing, right? It's like Everton without DCL, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, just doesn't look the same. He just
They
can't stay
played with
healthy.
Dominic Carvalho today, and he missed a sitter.
But that's
He
true.
missed
But the thing
an
is, you
awful
see
sitter.
them with and without, they just don't look the same. That's why I think there's a possibility of dragging Everton. But otherwise, I agree with you.
He just
Um,
want Everton to go. I know your
oh,
intentions. You
I
don't
know.
like
I
Everton.
dislike them so much. They're just such a dislikable team. I think speaking of dislikable teams, the other result was Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Who else but Cole Palmer scored the penalty after missing an absolute sitter. I have to say, I don't know if you guys watch this game, but Chelsea, they're such a shit team. I know they've won this game, but they are truly such a shit team. There are no patterns of play. It's all individual brilliance. And then Fulham, how they didn't score, they had 3 or 4 golden opportunities, but it was selfishness. I don't know if you caught the game, KG.
I think you're
Look,
mistaken. You're looking at United, aren't you?
uh,
Summarizing United.
Honestly,
man,
same. Yes, the Malagusto foul.
yeah, the fact, like, how is that not a pen? This is like an annoying inconsistency by the fucking refs again.
And the
How
VAR took a look and decided not to call it.
I mean, they needed a win after the fiasco with Middlesbrough, which you called, by the way. And it's just the amount of centers they missed in that game is just abysmal. Like
Unbelievable. Yeah.
cold Parma missed the opportunity where he could have shown that he's actually cold. Like he should have passed the ball in the net. I'm talking about the Middlesbrough game.
Yeah.
But yeah, they needed a win. They got their win. The referees were on their side. Fulham were hard done by. I thought Fulham was a better team overall, and
Absolutely.
in their result with Liverpool, they're a very solid team. Like they gave Liverpool a fight in the EFL Cup, and here, I don't see Chelsea. I think United and Chelsea are going to end up pretty close to each other at the
I
bottom
think
of
the
the
biggest thing
Bellera.
is just the decision making in the final third is why Fulham aren't higher. You look at it and you're
Yeah,
like Nico Reed, the kid from United, Pereira. Oh my, Raul Jimenez's decision making is truly
I mean,
0 out of 10.
let it slide for Raul Jimenez. Okay, the man had like almost a skull ripped apart. He's recovering slowly. Like, but like the biggest mistake I think what Fulham actually did is letting go Mitrovic. I think they should have kept Mitrovic.
I
I know
know.
they sold him for a bunch of money and all that, but Mitrovic was a Rolls Royce type of striker for Fulham. They should have
Yeah,
kept
that's
him.
true. Wait, speaking of Mitrovic, have you guys seen all this news about both Henderson and Benzema both wanting to leave the Saudi Premier League? I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys saw
because
this.
I said because they want to leave the stadiums they play in is 3,000 people. Yeah, they probably like it's a non-league game somewhere in I don't know, like France even like 3,000
Yeah.
people.
I mean,
Uh,
the real question is like, obviously the money's not enough to convince them to stay there, right? Like Benzema's getting what 100 mil or 200 mil a year, and now he's already trying to leave after less than six
he wants
months.
a 6 month loan. I think there were rumors that United are in for him. Not sure how truthful they are, but if
And
United get
Henderson,
Benzema,
did you
Henderson,
see?
I mean, he wants to go to Ajax. Yeah, I
No,
saw
no,
that.
he's finalizing that
He's
Henderson.
finalizing.
Yeah, he's going on an 18-month deal. Imagine you leave Liverpool to then go get 700,000 a week, and then after 6 months burn your reputation. I guess
He
a
burned his
question.
reputation, by the way, once he left because there was this whole LGBTQ plus thing where he was like an
Yeah,
ally, and then he went to a country which doesn't do that well with that group.
I guess I have a
So
question. Big Lev, would you consider Henderson like Hendo a Liverpool legend or no?
No.
Right. Okay. I feel like now
is he
he's
is he a club legend, or is he what's it called? There's another term for it. It's not a when you're not a legend but
Cult
you're like
hero.
cult hero. Is he a cult hero status, or he's just like a good
He's
player
a
who
cult
played?
hero.
He's a
I don't
cult
know.
hero.
He was a captain who lifted the Premier League and the Champions League.
that's true. A good point.
So he probably was, and he was like very devoted, but he's just not good enough to be a legend,
Not to all
right?
causes he is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
truly.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I guess let's talk about the really disappointing game, which was but brilliant game, I have to say. Like absolutely amazing, which was Newcastle 2, Man City 3. Our group chat was exploding. Big Lev, like I know you watched this game. What are your thoughts? Like did you think City deserved to win?
Yes, yeah, no, for sure, man. Like Newcastle was just holding on from like the moment they came back out on a second half, and since De Bruyne was introduced, it was simply just a matter of time, and the matter of time just occurred before the end of the full time whistle, and the Newcastle annoying that like they just completely gave up, they couldn't do anything, and then it's annoying that like City just have this player who just manufactured 2 goals out of nothing, thin air, man,
Nothing, right? Like it was
thin
really
air.
like
The goal he
unbelievable.
scored was just like he literally side foot passed it into the net from like 25 meters away. Super
But
annoying.
I
And
have
then
a
they
question
get
for
this
you.
like
How many
random
times
kid.
have you seen him do it, and yet he does it again? It's like they don't understand the defenders. Like he can shoot from anywhere.
Yeah, like I hate. It's gonna be another year of just City now. It's gonna win like 15 games straight, and it's gonna be annoying and just like Like I swear to God, like PL is just ruined
Stop
because of this.
whining. Winning is about the mentality. If you start whining right now, they're gonna win it. You need to think about how you're gonna win it.
No, I'm actually with
Oh,
Big Liv. There's no
okay.
chance.
Excuse me,
You,
Mr. Mentality Monster over here.
you Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan. You have no mentality here.
No, they
Okay,
Yeah.
do.
yeah, you.
No,
Yeah,
honestly though, like Big Liv is right. It's like they've done it so many years. I feel like it's just inevitable now, right? We're all
bro.
traumatized.
This guy
As-
talking about this from the safety of his seventh position.
exactly.
Okay, you're not even close to the game. You're
We're not
not
going to be in
in a
the.
hunt, okay?
We're not in discussion. I'm just saying that you need to have belief. They're still not on the same level as they were last year, points wise. It's not going to be a crazy point finish. You just need to have. You
No,
just need to
that's
continue doing
fine.
what you're doing.
It's less about the number of points. It's more about the fact that they're literally going to win the next 15 games in a row. Like everyone
Uh,
knows this.
I
KDB's
don't
not.
think.
They're doing
I
this
don't
without
think.
Haaland.
I don't think they're going to win the next 15 games in a row. I think
Uh,
if Newcastle had less injuries, that game would be a draw.
Interesting. Wait, Big Lev, do you think Liverpool are still in prime spot? Like, do you think it's still in favor of Liverpool to win it now? Now that we've seen KDB back and they're beginning
Um,
to churn.
no, and not because of only KDB, but because fucking the AFCON. I didn't realize it. Like the group stage runs forever, and then the playoffs are February. And I'm sure Egypt's not gonna be like left in a group. They're probably gonna go all the way till final. So Salah's gonna miss Chelsea game. He's gonna miss Arsenal game, and probably one more. And then like you need Salah for those games, man. You need him. He's the one who scores in those big games. I know we only have Bournemouth to play in January, but then he's gonna be back. He's gonna miss like 2-3 PL games. Then he's gonna be back tired. Like it's a huge loss. Okay, so I feel like we are on a back foot now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just seems like it's all lining up. The stars are lining up for City again,
I
sadly.
don't believe in it. I believe someone's going to give them a fight. Either you lot or Liverpool are going to give them a fight. I
Hey,
don't think
listen,
they're
I
going
would
to.
love to be very
No, I
clear, but
mean
I just don't see it.
it is gonna be a fight for sure, but it
Yeah,
just like it seems like they have an advantage right now.
You're
especially with
2 points
KDB.
ahead. So
I
let me ask you a
know.
question, Big Love. Big Love, I have a question for you. What if when Salah comes back, Liverpool is 1 point behind City? Do you think that's a success?
Yeah, I think that's a success.
Yeah,
Let's see. Let's see what it's going to be in in March.
yeah,
Whether it's that or no.
I mean,
yeah,
depends when he comes back. If because if he
I
comes
mean,
back like
let's
yeah,
say he's gonna be back no later than the quarterfinals. At least they're gonna go to the
yeah.
quarterfinals.
yeah,
Semifinals is your best bet, and your worst bet is they're gonna play till the finals. And he's gonna come back knackered because he's gonna be playing game after game after game. So,
In that
uh,
90-degree heat. Yeah, wow, he's
yeah,
going to come back knackered. All right.
yeah.
I think the moment KDB stepped on, we all knew what was going to happen, right? Like, was
I
there any
think
doubts?
everyone knew, like everyone in the world knew that they're gonna do something. I didn't believe in it. I just didn't want to believe in it, but I mean, Newcastle they set back too much at the second part of the game. They just let City get into the game where they should have went out ahead and cut off their chances. But Newcastle also has a thin bench, so they couldn't do
Yeah,
what they
I mean the
do.
team is demolished.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how every single goal was a perfect finish? Right. I
Oh,
have never seen a game with five incredible finishes like that.
oh, all the goals were amazing. All of the goals. The Isaac's goal or Isaac's goal, where Bruno Guimaraes pass is just outstanding. Nobody would expect him to blindly play that ball, and then his finish is amazing. Bernardo Silva's goal, outstanding, like something
Outstanding.
like all of these goals were great. But KDB comes on and naturally passes the ball into the net. It would have been amazing if only it wasn't City, who is soulless, and a club it's built on oil money. If it was, I don't know, Derby County, it would have
Yeah.
been much more historic. But good for them. They're probably writing their own history. Here's a question that I have for you. So I think that the fact that some players play for City, it takes out of their legacy, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes.
And a prime example of that is Yaya Toure. In my opinion, one of the best central midfielders who's not spoken. We speak about Scholes, we speak about Gerrard, we speak about Lampard. Toure is never in the conversation, although he was an amazing player. Do you think KDB will have the same fate? Because City's titles mean nothing.
No, I actually think he is one of the few people who surpasses the legacy of the team. Like, there's not a single club he would not step into right now. It doesn't matter if you talk about Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Real Madrid, whatever it is. And I think it's just like we all recognize how good he is. So I think leaving the City stuff alone, you just know he is the best midfielder. Like, so I really think him and Rodri are probably the only two I think that it would not impact.
I think it would be more impactful to Rodri than it would be to KDB. I think KDB is much more marketable, but I think Rodri can be forgot. Although he's the best central defensive midfielder that this city side had. He's the best central defensive. He's better than Fernandinho. He's better
Oh
than
yeah, I mean
since
he's the best.
Yaya Toure. But I think the point with that is nobody speaks about the Yaya Toure partially because the man wanted some birthday celebrations and he didn't get any. You know, but
Yeah. No, that's a good question. Actually, that's a good pivot. I have a question for you guys. Like foreign take of the week. So I'm gonna propose. Can you guys give me players who are bigger than their club? Like their legacy was bigger than the club. Of course, the obvious one is Messi and Ronaldo. These guys have a legacy beyond their club. Like people who don't even follow soccer know them. Can you guys name me any other football players, say in like the last 20 years?
I can not the last 20 years. I can give you in the history of football, not the
Sure.
last 20 years. In the history of football, Cruyff.
Oh, fine, fine, fine. Cruyff.
He built Barcelona, which is
Yeah, he built
the current
Barcelona.
Barcelona,
Yeah,
essentially.
and
Yeah,
Ajax in many
and
ways.
Ajax, yeah, in many ways. So he created a turn. He's one of the last people who created his own thing on the field, like the Cruyff turn.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
he's bigger than any club or any
Okay, but
collective.
but like, was Messi bigger than Barcelona when in his prime? Was he bigger than Barcelona?
I think
uh,
nobody would think that, but Big Lev, go ahead. What do you think?
he probably was, on account that like he just did so much for his country as well. I guess not so much, but he basically was the won them the World Cup first time after Maradona. So he's
But that
kind of
was okay. But I'm
that
saying in his
allowed him
prime.
to transcend.
Yeah, that's fair. But what about in his prime? Like, of course, this is late towards the end of his career. But you know that he had that 5 or 8 year period where he was scoring like 90 goals a year, calendar year. Like, was he bigger
I mean,
than
no,
Barcelona?
no one, no one is bigger than a club. Okay, first of all, I don't,
You don't think
I
Ronaldo was bigger than any of the clubs he was at in his prime?
no, no. Why? Ronaldo left United. United was fine until they let go. Fergie was bigger than United. Ronaldo was not
Yeah,
bigger than
fair.
United.
That's a good call.
He left Real. They still won stuff. He left Juventus. Well, they suck and they're employing a donkey as a head coach. So that's but I think Messi when he was at his prime probably was at the level or bigger than Barca just because he was so much of their game and he was so much of their just like appeal. But other than that, it's very few people that are bigger than a club because you can
Interesting.
always replace people.
That's true, but I feel like can I give you an example actually from Liverpool? I feel like Salah is almost bigger than Liverpool because of like he's like the connections, the religion, everything. I feel like he's almost bigger than the club in this current environment.
But like, why? How? Like, we had players that were just like great before. We had Suarez who left, and then someone else came along. We
Do you
had
think
Torres who left.
Suarez's like aura and famousness, all of those things combined, was bigger than Salah's?
I mean, now you're giving me like just this abstract things to talk about. I don't know what aura and famousness are. I
No.
can't quantify them to compare it to. Yes, the Salah's no one's aura or famousness or brand will be bigger than actual Liverpool Football Club. So then, what we're talking about here, but
Oh, interesting.
in
Yeah.
terms of like the play and the game that like Suarez showed in like his last 2 seasons, he was maybe not better or like just as good as Salah. And then the way Suarez played at Barca, he was like probably at the same level. So people like players will come and go. I'm sure like in 3-4 years when Salah is gone, we maybe not get the exact like a good replacement because he is a legend, but we'll get someone who can do like 80% of what Salah does.
Yeah, fair enough. Don't worry.
What? YT, I disagree with you. You didn't pose the question correctly. The question should have been whose aura is as big as the club. Never bigger than the club, but as big as the club. Because I think Ronaldo and Salah, they have an aura and a pool that is as big of a club because you can see as big as any football club you can say because you can see that Ronaldo went to Saudi and you can see the effect that it created. There's been multiple examples of people going to different leagues and playing there, but it didn't create any pool, and there didn't create any gist around it or anyone watching the league. There are some people who watch the Saudi league just because of Ronaldo. There are a
That's
lot of
true.
young boys who are buying Al Ittifaq t-shirts who would 3 years ago never buy an Al Ittifaq t-shirt in New York or in Southern Ohio. I don't know where they're buying his shirt, but it is
I
that.
see them here. It is that's a good
Yeah,
point actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
but in terms of like who else had that type of aura, you could say Beckham had that type of aura because Beckham,
yeah,
in his documentary, you can see when he came, they had plastic chairs as a greeting material for him in an MLS, and now the MLS is, I wouldn't say it's a good league, it is a league on a professional level. I would say that it's at least they have proper locker rooms
yeah. That's
and
true.
and
Beckham is
proper
a good call. Beckham is a
Black
very
Beckham.
good call.
Pele was also like that because Pele, Best, and some other folk came to the back then when they tried to do the MLS. And once Pele retired and all of them retired, the league just died. So that was another good example that people just came in for the league and for the R. I think Salah's that type of a player as well. But then there are a lot of players who think that they're the bee's knees and they're like that. And I can give you an example of
Ma-
that, and it's
Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford has some humility in him, at least. You know, he thinks like that on the field, but I don't like outside. He's trying to be humble. He did the whole. He fed some kids, so it's like it's a better outreach. I would say Paul Pogba is a good
Oh
shout.
yeah,
He thought
that's a very good
he
shout.
he won the World Cup and he thought he was. Where is he now? Where is Paul Pogba? Someone locate Paul Pogba right now.
Sitting
Is
on
he
a
getting?
sofa, retired.
Yeah, someone's poking his voodoo doll somewhere in Africa, making sure that he's injured forever.
Jesus,
Yeah,
what a waste.
and Jaden Sancho. Might as well we talk about Jaden Sancho in this posting.
Yeah,
He
let's talk about
assisted.
set injury.
uh,
Okay, can we talk? Have you guys seen all the social media posts and everything? Okay, first of all, he did what, a goal and assist, or was it an assist? I think
He just
in
an
his first game.
assisted, and it was an assist, and the assist was it was again tactically speaking, the right back did a shitty job marking him. He didn't track back. He had acres of space. Obviously, the guy would give a ball to him. He sprinted, and then it was just an empty pass into an empty net to Marco Reus. Good job for someone who didn't play for whatever 6 months, but to be on Ten Hag's head, going like, "Who did you let go?" As if he did some moment of magic. He just sprinted and passed the ball. Okay, like, and the audacity of Borussia Dortmund to go and say, "Oh, we have no problem with Jadon Sancho. He never had responsibilities and what's it called problems with with attending training sessions when there have been clearly like he pushed his move to United. He missed trainings to go to United. He had trouble with you. Don't pretend that he's this angel that deserves all the savings. Like it just burst my mind. He assisted a shitty tap in. Okay, let it go
No,
against.
just you know what it is. I'm just telling you. Don't worry. Just wait 1 week, and then the narrative will start to change when he really starts to come out. And then in 3 weeks, this will be completely done. None of all this positivity will be gone. He'll be
It's
causing
good.
problems again.
But the thing is, I don't want the positivity to be gone. In reality, I want it to keep happening
So you
because
can sell him on.
someone can buy him and then he can play FIFA at their house and at their location.
Uh,
It's just
Wait, speaking
mind-boggling.
of playing FIFA, let's talk about some of the terrible finishing and terrible defending. Of course, we're talking about the United game, which ended 2-2 with Spurs. I have to say, KG,
Yeah.
United, the moment they concede, I have never seen such a fragile, mentally weak team.
Mentally weak. That's what we are. I mean, the second goal, like you could see that after the second goal, like people would say, "How would you know that they're mentally weak?" Or "How is it seen?" Okay, Spurs were better. It's not seen from the fact that Spurs were better. It's seen from the fact that like at one point I caught up that the shape was not there. Like Dalot, who was playing right back, was at left back, and then there was a pass going to. Thank God Timo Werner is playing. Thank God it wasn't Son. If it was Son, United would lose 4-2. Thank God it was Timo Werner because he was shite. He was shite. He couldn't shoot for the life of his. He couldn't cut in and pass for the life of his. And he was
Terrible.
constantly making too many touches, killing their attack. And United, in the first 10 minutes after they conceded, were lost. It was just mentally weak. And then they just didn't do anything. just
I
didn't do
just
anything.
it just doesn't. But at least it feels like the team is beginning to come back, especially with Licha coming back. I think Casemiro was on the pitch. It feels at least your personnel is beginning to come back.
I still like. There's a lot of questions for Ten Hag, and I don't think he is gonna be here in the summer. Because if you're chasing this game, and the problem with this game is, I mean, me and you can understand this, right? Spurs are playing a high line. They taking the control of the ball. They can't do much. You put on a Licha on for Evans, so you stop the plug. They're not creating as many chances. They just have the ball and they're rotating around your on your wings, and it doesn't result into anything in the middle. But then your problem is in midfield. You can't control the ball, and what you need is a good ball playing midfielder along with Mino. So he can take the ball, he can make he can string 2 or 3 passes, and then catch them on with a high line, put the ball in the empty spaces, make Rashford, Garnacho, or Anthony if you put him, run there, and then create a chance. That's all you needed to do to catch them on the counter attack,
But
especially
but
since you gave them the ball.
but wait, I have a question. Who is playing alongside Menu instead, though?
So that's the question that I have for Ten Hag. You have Casemiro, who's on the bench, who's essentially coming back, and for the last 20 minutes, you're not putting him on. You're putting on Scott McTominay, who's just rushing forward, and you can see this is what his hope was. His hope was we're gonna go get forward somehow, magically. Like Bruno's gonna drop down deep, Mino's gonna do something, Licha maybe is gonna drive forward the ball forward, and then we're gonna cross it in, and then you know what? Scott McTominay's gonna head it in. That was his initial plan. That almost happened on the 95th minute. Scott McTominay just missed because he is a Burton Albion level striker who plays for midfield at Manchester United. I don't know why. I cannot. Again, he's not a bad player. It's just in the moment when you need to win a game, you don't put him on.
Yeah, I agree. It changed the game. It killed the momentum for United. It's just like you lost possession, you lost control.
There was so with Ericsson, the United was good in the first half because they had Ericsson who could breathe. Essentially, he still had the stamina, but once he started losing it, they conceded the goal. The goal was his mistake.
Yeah, it was
He
obviously his mistake.
he couldn't track back. It was that, and like Maino was covering another position, so Ericsson was supposed to cover that position. He just didn't track back. What's his name? Bentancur had it all the time in the world. He scored a wonderful goal. Then you sub him off, and then you put McTominay on edge, and then all the position and all the positivity that you had in the first half went out the window. It was just like United's midfield was non-existent. The ball just went from defense straight to attack. If you look at all the attacks in the last 35 minutes of the game, it was just
Yeah.
the defense pushing the ball forward to someone in the forward line to do something. It's not. There's no midfield. The midfield is non-existent.
Only when he's there. Yeah, it was terrible, but honestly, I'm glad I watched it. It was interesting, but terrible. It's just frustrating to watch them. You're like, you could do so much better.
United are not getting the top four, and Ten Hag is getting sucked in the summer. I had hope until like this is a game they should have won. They're gonna have 2 weeks. So they're playing some. So we're playing some random team in the FA Cup. United are playing them. I don't know. Like that's the only game they're gonna have in January left, and it's February when probably everyone's gonna be back with Onana including or not Onana. And I don't expect United to do well even if, with the players back or and to make a run for the top four. So I think Ten Hag's days are numbered because I haven't seen any plan or any cohesiveness in this team
Yeah,
when they need to win. So
I'm with you. Just like the lack of play style, just anything. It's just like it just
yeah,
seems so random. Like they just all met each other. On a different topic, I figured we should just wrap up by talking about the new Champions League format and like how it works. So, for anyone who hasn't seen this, they messed with perfection and wanted more money. So, for the next 5 years, I think the commitment is it's going to be 36 teams in one group. Everyone's going to play 4 home and 4 away games, just big round robin. Top 8 qualify, and then the number 9 to 24 go into a playoff round, and then you go back to the knockout stages of the 16 teams from there, which basically means like every team is playing, I think, 2 extra games, and we have a bunch of extra. It just, what
No,
are
it's
your immediate thoughts?
completely idiotic, and this is the like this shows you that the UEFA doesn't care, and kind of now I'm disappointed that the Super League is no longer like viable, and everyone got scared and like released the statements, oh, we're not gonna redo it again, because this is kind of shit. Everyone has been screaming about, hey, we are overplaying the players, and what's their solution? Oh, even more games. because they're just as greedy, man.
It's just a money
So
grab, right? Like
it's
Yeah.
money
there's
grab
nothing but a grab.
first of all, and then if you have this 36 team group, there's a higher chance that you have to play some weird away games in like Belarus or some shit, because you're not gonna. I don't know how the how you're gonna decide what the games are that you're playing, but there's a higher likelihood that it's not seeded anymore. You don't have those like pots with different strength teams, right? There's higher chance that you have to go further and further now, which is just like
Yeah.
complete bullshit.
While playing two more
Also,
games. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, like it's just. I mean, the Super League would be a similar format. It's not like a Super League would save us from this heart attack central. I'm calling this heart attack central. That's what it is for anyone who's, God forbid, some team finishes ninth, has to play his extra knockout games, and then what are the chances of them going to the finals if you finish ninth?
Yeah,
Your
because
chances
you've
are
now
like,
added 3 games relative to anyone who finished in the top 8. Three
yeah.
games in this current calendar is shocking, honestly, because they're already playing 2 extra games. So it's possible that if you finish ninth and you try to go to the final, you're playing an extra 5 games in the year.
So what will happen is that anyone who's going to finish ninth, they're just going to make sure that they just play as much game as possible, not go to the final, get as much money as possible. So they'd probably calculate and be like, let's get to the last 16, get our paycheck and bounce because we're going to be tired. Not all of like there's a true fairy tale is going to be someone who finished 24th winning winning at all, but that's rarely going to happen. I think it's going to be all those teams from. It's going to be a mini Europa League. That's what it's going to be. A mini
So
Europa League within the Champions League.
is this approved already?
Yeah, it's literally
Yeah.
being implemented next year. So
How
that's why the Premier League is possibly getting a 5th spot based
Yeah.
on the correlation. So that's why because there's an extra spot to give. So, but yeah, that it is happening next year.
it's absolute bullshit, man. I just can't believe
They
it.
had the perfect thing and they started fucking with it by removing the away goal and then it all
Also,
spiraled down.
will the FA at least cancel the League Cup?
Nope, the League Cup is still happening, and they're still planning on doing the two-legged semifinals. Is supposed to be continuing. So
Like, what the
basically,
fuck?
nothing is changing. They're just adding at minimum 2 games, possibly 5 games, depending on where you finish next year. It's just a pure addition
Why is
I
the
just
EFL Cup with two game week, like
because it's two
home
different
and away?
organizations that run it, and of
No,
course
no, no,
the
no. I understand. Why is the EFL Cup has this like home and away like semifinal? What's it called? Carling Cup. Why
oh
is like
no
yeah,
because the group that runs the Carling Cup is
yeah,
literally a different group from the FA. It's not the FA who runs the Carling Cup.
yeah. So they decided just like let's have two games.
Yeah,
Although
and
like
they're like, yeah, we might as well make money for our organization as well
what
because
can you just
stupidity.
opt out of that group?
I mean, you play
Like,
your weakest squad, right? I don't know what to tell you.
no, even if you play your weakest squad, like your manager still has to come in. Like, it takes time away from preparation, time away from other
I mean, they
shit.
have to do something. I think this is what I
No, but
keep saying.
just don't go. Like, just forfeit
It's a 3
every
0
year.
forfeit.
Like, I
I don't.
swear to God, if I could, if I was a manager of Liverpool and I could, I would just forfeit every
EFL Cup,
year. I would just
EFL
say
Cup.
I'm not gonna show up.
But
Because
you're in
Imagine
the
just
what's gonna happen?
semifinals. You're in semifinals. Why are you in the
No.
semifinals then?
I'm gonna forfeit in like third round. Just
Oh,
not
from the
gonna show up.
beginning.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna show up to my first game, and that's it. I'm just
Imagine not showing up to your Carling Cup game.
but that
like
is
what they're gonna do? Like, is there gonna be like they're gonna
nothing.
fine me?
Nothing.
Because that's not bringing in any money for the club. It's not like, okay, one game day money maybe, but like it's laughable for a team like Liverpool that
It's still a good
like
bump,
the
you know.
impact,
People still make money off of it. People are greedy. They would still make
bro.
money
Like,
off of it.
no, I just
Wait.
like if
Let
I
me give you the alternative. I think for like the FA Cup, Carling Cup, and stuff, we should do what Wenger was doing 20 years ago when he brought the first trend, which is literally to just play the kids. He would literally sub 8 to 10 players, and they were
yeah.
genuinely kids. And I'm like, they would be 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like players who were not getting any minutes. And you just knew it was two separate squads entirely. So
You
that's what I
mean
Yeah.
propose.
you mean he played Marwan Shamah against Reading?
Yeah.
You
Listen,
mean that?
Marwan Shimah did not just play Carling Cup. That would have been nice. He played our League Cup games as well, man. What
he
a
was your
terrible time.
he was your Juru before Juru.
Oh, thinking about how terrible this. But I
Marwan.
think that's the
Oh,
thing. Wait, also,
Bakary
just to be
Sagna.
clear. Oh, I mean, Bakar Sani was pretty good, I have to say.
Yeah, he
No,
went to City. That's why he found a
wait,
good place.
Big Lev, just to make your head explode a little more, it's not just that the Champions League is expanding, don't forget, the next FIFA World Cup is also going to be much bigger. It's literally going to be like 20 extra teams.
Yeah, I don't know. Fine, whatever. Maybe Georgia will make it. Finally. Bro,
Now
it's
that he has something to gain.
yeah, it's unfair because we were stuck in like UEFA because we would probably make it from almost every other conference.
You think
But
you'd make it out of Africa?
maybe.
Wow. Ghana,
No.
Ivory Coast, Nigeria.
No,
Bro,
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
they would.
Like,
Maybe with this squad,
maybe
but
not.
before that, never. Maybe
Yeah,
with this
maybe
squad, they
with
would
this
have an
squad.
ear
No,
shot,
with the
but not
90 squad, we would make it. Man.
90 squad. Yeah, too. They had a good 90 squad.
That's
They had
Um,
Kaladze. They had what's it called?
yeah,
The city guy.
Wait, would you get no? You would not get out of South America. There's no way you get out of South America.
South America is weird. Like, I think you can get out where like where now Ecuador and shit get us out.
Yeah, South America has no one. They have only Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay has the same Cavani running around who's 37, like Suarez Cavani. Like they don't
I
have.
guess Colombia.
They have
Man,
no. Colombia has no one.
Paraguay mixed almost every year. Why can't
Yeah,
we
I
do
guess you're right.
Paraguay?
No, South America is only Brazil, Argentina. They have a
Yeah.
stronghold on it. Everyone
Yeah.
else is just like an old. Like there's no new and exciting team from South
Asia,
America.
like what's it
Asia
called?
for sure,
For sure. Man.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
I think your biggest struggle would be Europe first, Africa second, and then South America, and then everywhere else. You definitely would do it. Actually, from there, you definitely do it. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But World Cup it's also once in every 4 years, so it's like yeah, whatever. Fuck. Like it's annoying because all those matches in the group stage where they like some random teams play, like they get like group stage gets so tiring. During World Cup, where you're like, "Fuck, is it not done finally?" Because like you have to wait out for the good games. But I mean, whatever. Like they're just grabbing money, man.
yeah, and it's going to be further travel because all the next World Cups are all going to be much further distances. So it's going to be the most travel we've ever seen by
I mean,
far.
the
Yeah,
next one is in US, no?
No, it's like U.S., Canada, Mexico. So you could easily play a game in
That's
Miami.
all US. That's all
No,
US.
but like imagine you play a game in say Mexico City or Miami, and then you
Yeah.
have to fly all the way to whatever Vancouver
no,
or
that's not
Seattle.
gonna. That's not gonna
No,
happen.
it's
Gonna
gonna
do.
be like regionally focused.
Yeah,
Oh, is it
So
really?
it's
yeah,
one group
like
in one city.
it's same in when there was World Cups in like Europe or other. Like you'll have like in when there was Japan South Korea, you had the same group stayed in the same place in Japan, and some other groups they would stay in the same area of like Korea.
That's awesome.
They wouldn't be like flying back and forth.
Oh, I genuinely did not know
Yeah,
that. Oh, that's
No,
so
no,
interesting.
it's like regionally like locked.
Yeah, they care about the environment. Yeah,
They care about the
Yeah,
environment.
okay. Carbon footprint, man.
yeah.
Uh,
Big Lev would
carbon-
give his hand to be in that Korea World Cup, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, definitely. Honestly, that would be a good World Cup to go to. I would go to a concert with you if it was also the World Cup happening.
The best tournament ball was 2002 World Cup. It was fun.
I never remember the tournament balls, to be honest.
was
I
that-
remember the South Africa one because everyone hated it.
Yeah,
Jabulani.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what people hated about the South African games. What the
2000
fucking boo-boos it was.
Oh,
The
fuck
boo-boos
that,
they were
man.
oh.
Yeah.
The 2002 World Cup one was the triangle with those looked like a fire. You know, the Adidas triangle.
Oh
like,
yeah, that was a good one.
red. Yeah, that was a good one. But
Yeah,
the Jambolanis and the what's it called? Vuvuzelas was
terrible.
something special, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right. I think that's a wrap for today. We'll catch everyone next week when we're going to have a lot more Premier League games as teams begin to come
Not
back.
a lot more.
Oh, I
Just
take
the
it back.
same
You're right.
amount of games. Yeah,
Yeah,
2
we're
games
gonna-
every Saturday. Yeah, just
games.
Liverpool and Arsenal are going to be playing. I'm sorry if United and City and Newcastle weren't enough for you. It's going to be Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, and it's going to be Liverpool versus Bournemouth.
Fantastic. I feel like those are going to be good teams, good games.
Oh.
As we both win and catch up with City.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye.
Peace.
All right, bye.